My husband said that God sent me to my daughter's basketball practice tonight, and I think he was right. So normally when my husband takes my daughter to basketball practice, he sits in there with her. Tonight he was going to take her, but he wasn't feeling well, so I told him that I would take her instead. So when I went inside to get her situated in practice, I came back out to my car because the bathrooms were locked, and my plan was to run to the restroom, like go somewhere and find a restroom and come back to her practice. But when I got outside, I hear a kid crying. So I'm looking around the parking lot, and it's dark out here. There are no cars. When I was going in, I passed by the director of the program. He was coming out, and I saw like the people from the previous practice, they were coming out as well. So I hear this kid crying, and I'm like, are you okay? Right? Now, I know it's some strange times, so he was probably thinking strange things, and I was like, Lord, I don't know. But there's a child that's crying. So I called out to the kid, and I said, are you okay? And he said that whoever dropped him off was supposed to pick them up, and they must have forgotten. So as strange as it is in 2025, I asked the kid, for him, not for me, I asked him if he wanted to sit in my car because it is freezing outside. Like, it's 39 degrees right now. And I asked him if he wanted to sit in my car. And so he said yes. And so I tried to make him as comfortable as possible because I know this is weird. We teach our children stranger danger. But I just didn't want this child outside in the cold. So I asked him if he knew phone numbers, so I could let him use my phone to call somebody. And he said that he did. And he tried to call his sister, and he said, well, I'm not sure if these numbers are right. I get the last few numbers, I get them mixed up. So I text the number because I'm like, hey, are you this child's, I won't say his name, sister? I didn't get a text back. So I reached out to my husband. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, you know what? This is God's plan that you took her to practice today. He said, because I would have been inside. And so he said, well, why don't you reach out to the director? So I found the director's number. I called him. He didn't answer, but I left a voicemail, and he called me back. And so I explained everything. The young man was back here, gave him his name, and I said he doesn't have a phone number. I was like, can you reach out to his parents or an aunt or somebody? I said, he said he knows his address, but my daughter's in practice, and I didn't want to leave her there and then have her come out thinking that I forgot about her. So I was like, I don't want to, leave at this point, because now we've probably been together probably good, 15 or so minutes. So I was like, I asked him, I said, hey, can you reach out to the parent? Give her my number. Like, you can give her my number. That's fine. So he reaches out and the young man told me that his mom was at work. She works overnight. So I was like, okay, fine. So he reaches out to the mom. He gets a voicemail. He leaves a voicemail. He reaches out to the grandma, leaves a voicemail. And this young man, he's like, I'm so hungry. And he said, I'm so glad that you heard me crying because I didn't have anywhere to go. And it just broke my heart. I don't have any food in my car, but I did have some water. So I gave him some water. And poor kid, he was just so hungry. And I think he was scared. And I said, I know that, your mom probably teaches you not to talk to strangers, not to get in the car with strangers. I said, but I can assure you that I'm a safe stranger. Now, that may not be the case for every stranger. But I just didn't want him to be comfortable, like getting, if something like this ever happened again, I didn't want him to be comfortable, like getting in the car with somebody that may not be a safe person. So long story short, the director finally reached back out to me. I would say probably about, I guess we're probably about 30 minutes into this now. The director reaches back out to me, and he says that he got in touch with the mom. She texted him back and said that someone was on the way. So someone pulled up. I verified. I asked, are you his aunt? And the young lady said yes. And so he got out. He seemed to be comfortable with her, so he got out the car and got in the car with them, and they left. Y'all, I am so glad that I was here. I'm so glad that I was the person that this young man ran into today. As a mom, I couldn't imagine, I couldn't leave him out there like that. I just couldn't do that. But yeah, we got to make sure our kids have numbers that they know and are comfortable, like that they know. Like, I know technology, everybody puts everything in a cell phone, but especially if they don't have cell phones, they need to know numbers by heart, like in their mind, because what if the phone is gone? What if the phone dies? What if the phone, and they have an opportunity to reach out. Y'all, we got to make sure our kids know phone numbers.